It's the Joe Padula Show, Clarksville's conversation.
Absolutely.
In 2002, the claim is that the city of Clarksville, then under Mayor Johnny Piper, it is said that the city promised to build an alley behind the Blackhorse Pub and Brewery. Everyone knows where that is, downtown, 132 Franklin Street. Jeff Robinson, owner-operator, how did that alley idea come up, and how was it promised?
Well, it came up, 1991 was a tornado.
Uh-huh.
And then post-tornado, well, that's not right, 1999 was the
99,
tornado.
right.
99 was the tornado. Post-tornado, downtown was heavily destroyed, demolished, big damn mess. And one of the things they were doing was rerouting some utilities in conjunction with building the new courts facility. There were about 6 buildings that front Franklin Street that had been getting power from over the tops of other buildings all the way down behind the Roxy. And it was a big mess. And Mayor Piper came to me. He said they had an opportunity, if they could get a little more land, that they would put in an alley and upgrade utilities to support those buildings. The two people that owned the buildings that were in this area that had been torn down after the tornado, both of them just wanted to sell and leave.
Okay.
So he asked us if we would buy both those lots, combine them into one, and then sell the city 25% of the total, because they were both long, skinny lots. So it was really kind of the only way to get it done. And then if we would do that, the city would put in the new utilities, and then they would build an alley.
What would be in that alley? Just
It'd just be a damn alley, just like any normal alley you've ever seen anywhere.
Right.
It's not a magic alley. It's just an alley.
a magic alley.
You just drive a truck down the alley. You work on the
access, the whole bit. Yep.
Put a dumpster down there, and everybody's happy.
Absolutely.
It's just an alley. It's a way to get people in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny didn't, or Mayor Piper, he didn't just promise it. The city council actually voted on it on August 6, 2002. City council meeting minutes. Money allocated for a public alley.
And they voted for it.
They voted for it. It's not just some random made-up promise.
Right.
I mean, it's the city council voted for it. It's there. It's in their minutes. The deal is that shortly after that, they were rebuilding a lot of downtown, and everybody was busy, and it was a mess, and there wasn't any need for that vacant lot really quick.
It was on the back burner.
Right. It was all on the back burner. And now County Mayor Durrett was then head of the head of the street department. He said, "Hey, we'll get to this alley, but we got other stuff to deal with, and it needs to go in at the same time as a new building. So do you mind waiting?" And I said, "No, that's fine." First the city asked us to buy the land and sell it, sell them that portion.
Right.
And we agreed. Then the city, through the street department, says, "Hey, will you work with us on doing this alley later? When we get to it," and we agreed. And then it just sat there. I mean, the reality is, if you look around the courthouse, there's like 13 empty lots left over from the tornado. Shit just didn't happen.
Okay.
It's just still needs a lot of help. So, it just sat there as a vacant lot until 2015, when we said, "Hey, we're going to build a building." So we submitted some plans to build a building ourselves.
You were done waiting. You needed to move forward.
Right. Actually, we finally had a use for it.
Okay.
Up until then, we'd actually tried to sell the lot, and just like all the other vacant lots, it just sat there. Nobody bought it. So, but then in 2015, we thought, aha, our brewery's expanding. We can make more beer if we had a bigger building, and we could do it right there. So we submitted a site plan to get going on doing a building. And we submitted the design review plans, for the facade to match up and get approval from the historic people.
That's right.
So we did all that.
It's all got to look nice, right?
Yes, exactly. And we got that approval. And then while the site plan was in review, we got a phone call from basically the gas and water department that said, "Hey, can you guys hold up? We need to put one more, like a sewer main extension in there. And if you do it, if we have to do it after you put up a building, it'll be almost impossible."
Right.
So we agreed to hold up.
You pumped the brakes.
Yeah, we pumped the brakes. And then we agreed to let them stage that project off of our property. So we agreed with them again. So, our problem...
Gas and water, a city entity.
Yeah, right. So our problem has been that, we've said yes to the city of Clarksville repeatedly, and then we trusted them.
Uh-huh.
I mean, what was it? Animal House, right?
Great movie.
Yeah, a great line, too.
Which
hey, let's face it, you
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah.
trusted us.
I wish I had some
I don't
mashed potatoes in my mouth.
Yeah, I don't want to get you.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that.
But that's a classic line, and it applies because we trusted them, and you can't trust them.
So, but nonetheless, in that what was that 2015 when they started digging?
Yeah, well, so in January, so that was September of 2015 when we submitted the plan. It was like December 2015 when we agreed to let them use the lot and put in the sewer main extension. January 2016 they did it. February 2016 they kind of were wrapping it up, and during that time frame I started going, hey, this sewer project was bigger than what I had envisioned, and I was like, you guys gotta, like, we got to use this as the launch pad to do this alley. So I started going, hey, we need to tie this into doing the building and the alley because it's never going to be cheaper or easier. And that's when we started to run into problems. And the gas and water guys were like, hey, that's not part of our project. Call the street department. The street department guys were like, hey, that's not in our budget. We're not really up on that. And one of them said to me on the side, man, I wish you'd have done this when Johnny was still the mayor. Because now we get into, Kim's the mayor, Kim McMillan. And Kim doesn't like Jeff.
Okay.
I don't like her either, so
okay.
It's okay.
So it balances.
Right, it's,
yeah,
not a problem. But Kim is the mayor, so Kim can say no alley. So that's what happened.
But they laid pipe in your property.
Yeah, and when they were putting it in, they meant to put it into their portion of the property
That's
that
right.
they had bought. They accidentally put some of it over on us.
It was unintended.
Yeah, it was purely an accident. I mean, that's not disputed.
Right.
But the other thing that's not disputed is that the pipe is on our property.
Right.
I mean, it just is what it is.
So what did they offer for compensation?
Excuse me. They never offered anything for compensation.
Okay.
What we offered was immediately when we figured that out, we said, look, we'll give you an easement for the intrusion on our property if you'll just build the damn alley. And the director of the street department at the time said, man, that sounds like a good idea, because that would be the easiest thing for them to do.
Okay, fair, right?
Right, and at that point in time, he'd had a bid at one point to, when they were in that project, to build the alley for like an additional $10,000. It was almost nothing at that point in time because of the way they had the slope prepared and everything. But he said, I got to check with the mayor. And at about 2:30 that afternoon, he left me a voicemail that says, hey man, sorry, fourth floor says no deal.
The mayor's office.
Right, the mayor's office.
Right.
Says, so there shall not be an alley.
All right, so you just got all the construction stuff in the back there, and
well, they were pulled out by then. It was all cleaned up. Except for some little odds and ends. But anyway, so at that point in time, then we had a meeting in the mayor's office. She got all torqued up and was beating on the table, screaming, "It's not an alley! It's not an alley!" Because all her staff kept calling it an alley.
Why not call it an alley?
Because if you call it an alley, you got to admit that it's supposed to be an alley.
Okay.
It's been fun. I mean, we've been in this lawsuit for like 4 years now.
So the alley that was voted on in 2002.
Right. It's what we call the land that was intended to be an alley, but shall not be called an alley.
The land formerly known as the alley.
Exactly.
Right. It's got
It
its own
shall not
logo.
be spoken out loud by anybody employed by the city of Clarksville as an alley.
Man.
But everybody goofs and calls it an alley anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, their own lawyers in court goof up and go, "Oh, the alley.
Yeah.
Shit, did it again."
Right. Oops. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, can't call it an alley because then you got to admit that it's an alley. It's supposed to be an alley. So anyway, then we had a meeting down in her office. Got it's not an alley. It's not an alley. And determined that the pipe's still on our property. What are you going to do about that?
Yes. Was there any offers for compensation?
No.
No.
They have never offered to compensate us a nickel for that. I mean, that's really been part of the two things in the whole fight. One is they argue that they accidentally took a little bit of our property, and since it's only a little, they shouldn't have to pay for it.
But it's still inverse condemnation.
Right. And when you go before a jury of 12 Montgomery County citizens and you say, hey, we only took a little, so it's okay. Mm-hmm. They look at you like, come and get part of my front yard and watch what happens.
Yeah, come take a square of my property.
Yeah,
right.
they're like, oh, hell no.
Right.
It's
not even offer less taxes or anything.
No. They have spent a fortune and all this time doing two things. One is to prove they don't have to keep their word, and number two is to try and take our land without paying for it. So we're just going to, keep fighting with them.
Well, I went to court because 2016, okay, you and your wife, Sherry, what's up, Sherry? Shout out. The Robertsons sued the city alleging 6 separate causes of action, including violation of civil rights, promissory estoppel, and inverse condemnation. Okay, 5 of the 6 claims were dismissed by the court to trial. If the inverse condemnation never occurred, was there ever going to be a lawsuit, do you think?
Yeah, because the promissory estoppel, I mean, that's the 2 big ones. The promissory estoppel is the breaking of the promise, if you will.
Right.
And we
Which was voted on.
Right. We relied on them to our detriment, and they were not honest. It's just, it's the way it is. And then the other part is, the inverse condemnation. The judge ruled that the promissory estoppel, the statute of limitations had basically run out, that you can't hold one mayor and one city council to 2 city councils or 2 mayors down the road don't have to honor what a previous one said.
Now,
that's basically what he said. And we disagree with that.
Yeah. And
we're going to appeal that.
Okay.
Because there's really not a statute of limitations on, keeping your word. It's just, and we don't think that he ruled correctly, so. Interesting.
Now, you got the last year, 2019, right? Okay, Montgomery County jury. All right, they sided with you on with the Franklin Street Corps. Okay, on the final claim of the inverse condemnation, $8,335 plus attorney fees.
Yeah, see, and that's another.
Did you get lowballed on that?
Yeah, but the same judge, he limited our claim on our damages to, that little bitty slice of property only. He didn't allow us to discuss any of our damages related to loss of business, loss of use of the property, and all those kind of things. He limited it to just those few square feet that were taken.
Okay.
So, yeah, and we disagree with that too. So we've appealed, we're in the process of appealing that as well.
Now, following the ruling, okay, the Robertsons requested more than $800,000 in attorney fees for the ongoing suit. One city council member attempted to get the lawsuit settled a few times here. In 2018, there was a proposal for a $350,000 settlement. In 2019, a $650,000 settlement. Most recently, this year, 2020, $1.2 million. Okay, that was August, right?
Something like that. I mean, you go back like Richard Garrett, the first one at $350. And I was driving down Madison Street. I remember when Richard called up and he goes, "Hey man, this is stupid. How much settles this stuff?"
Right.
And I looked up, how much did they spend on their lawyers? How much have I spent on my lawyers? And I said, okay, $350. That'll settle it. So he tried to get it settled, and it flamed out.
And had they passed it, you would have taken it.
Yeah, it would have been over with for $350,000.
Right. And then,
hey, dude, in 2016, we sent them a letter before we sued them, and we said, look, we'll give you an easement for free for the property you took. Excuse me. And we'll pave the alley at our own expense. If you just give us back that little slice of land so we can build the damn alley,
yeah,
and then we can build our building.
Right.
And they said no to that.
No.
So they turned it down for $0. Then they turned it down at $350. And then another councilman, so that first one was Richard Garrett. And then at $650, David Allen said, hey, we got a new mayor coming in. Let's try this again.
Right.
So we tried again, and me and the mayor went off and met in somebody else's office, all sneaky, one night, hush-hush secret meeting.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, dude, it was funny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you go through the underground tunnel? I heard there's an underground tunnel and bunker underneath City Hall.
No, that's not on city property.
Oh, okay.
We're talking third party out Wilma Rudolph.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and you didn't come to an agreement?
We came to an agreement on dollars. But then when the lawyers got a hold of it, they put some details in there that we couldn't agree to.
Okay.
And particularly, there's a storm drain that's on another person's property, Christine Roberts' property, which is
a couple buildings down here.
A couple of buildings down, and they said that we would have to indemnify, hold harmless, and defend the city from any third-party claims related to that storm drain on the Christine Roberts' property.
But that has nothing to do with yours.
It's not on my property.
Right.
Got nothing to do with me. I can't do that.
Why do you think that was added?
To kill the deal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They were thinking that you would never agree to that.
Well, you can't agree to that. And let me tell you, I mean, I can tell you a big reason why you cannot agree to that is, okay, so when they put that on there, then we thought, aha, why are they trying to stick this storm drain on us?
Why? Why do you think?
Because it ties into another drain that overflows into the river, which is part of their whole big thing with EPA. They've got to quit putting shit in the river and cut down on overflows of rain and sewage and stuff in the river. So that one ties into it. So that if we had signed that, that would give us liability for the city's problem with storm drainage running into the river.
And you can't afford that.
Of course not.
No.
So
of course you said no, right? Of course.
Of course we said no.
Right now, each time they did this, it failed at city council. Okay, with the votes, and the most recent one, it failed with a 5-8 votes.
Hey, that's the first time David Allen orchestrated that. That's the first time that it's actually gone to the city council.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Prior to that, it always goes off into the backroom deal with the
finance committee.
The finance committee,
right?
Where they close the door and nobody gets to see what goes on.
Right. I've never understood that where they vote, but you don't know who voted what. Right.
That is the ultimate in your backroom dealing. Right?
I'm glad you got a vote on it. To your unfortunate, they voted no. Did you think you had a chance of it being passed right before the vote?
No, because the backroom deal thing, the finance committee that's 5 of them right from the start, and then you got the mayor. He's number 6.
So you didn't think you had a chance?
No. But it was the first time that people were on record.
Okay. All right.
For who's where and who wanted to do what, and I think there's value in that.
Well, last month, Davidson County Circuit Court Judge Joseph P. Binkley Jr. He was assigned the case. This is because the judges here, they recused themselves.
Yeah, nobody wanted that.
Okay, and his ruling. Okay.
What does recuse mean?
I'm not touching it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't want to touch this. Right. It's too. It could be a conflict of interest.
Okay.
Right. With everyone knowing Jeff's such a popular guy, right.
Or not.
Or not such a popular guy, right.
But one way or the other, they didn't want to do it.
But issued his ruling on the plaintiff's attorney's fee request. Brinkley wrote that the Robinsons' attorneys had not provided sufficient detail to show that the hours they claimed were actually and reasonably spent in the prosecution of the inverse condemnation claim. What details were provided to show that the hours claimed were for the $800,000?
They gave him their whole bill for what they had done.
Right.
And it's kind of a bizarre ruling. That's another thing. It goes in the appeal bucket, if you will. I mean, because literally the dude sat in court for like 4 days of a jury trial, and he was there for it. But he didn't give them credit for those hours. See what I'm saying?
Why?
I don't know why. I mean, there's a whole lot goes on in the whole court system.
Because what stood out for me when I first read the headline, you were going for the $800,000 for the lawyer fees, right? And then, boom, you get $30,000. I know court cases that take less than a year that are more than $30,000.
Oh yeah. I mean, they've spent to get to the same point in time in doing basically, the opposite. It's like, you're in it's like a ball game in a way. I mean, there's one team on each side, and you're lining up for the same number of plays, and you're hitting on each other the same number of times, and they're at 1.2 million with their crew of Nashville lawyers, and plus the city lawyers. That they got 2 of them that work on this a lot. So, and then you got our 2 lawyers. They've been going at it this whole time, one team versus the other, and the judge just basically didn't give them value for it. So,
you made a statement. I thought it was pretty interesting. You made a promise not to back down, calling the ruling a bump in the road. What does that mean?
Man, it's like halftime in this game.
Okay.
You ever? I know. You
so
watch,
this ain't
Bay's
over.
Over there, he's got on his Dallas jersey.
Right.
Wasn't it too tall? Who was it? The Dallas defensive player was running into the end zone.
Oh, you talking about Leon?
Leon he started celebrating before he crossed the goal line. Yeah, that's Joe Pitts after that ruling right there. That boy started celebrating before he's in the goal line.
I hate cowboy references. Let's go Giants.
Playing against the Giants.
Oh no!
Playing against the Giants.
Yeah. Damn it.
Yeah, I figure this thing's at about halftime.
Yeah. There's you mentioned appeals earlier.
Yeah. So when you get to this point, the next thing you got is appeals in the state case, and then we've also in 2019 the Supreme Court decided that in cases involving property rights, which is big, property rights.
The state, the Supreme Court?
No, the United States.
The federal.
Yeah, the big one.
Wow.
They said that historically or normally you can't sue in federal court for something you've sued in state court.
Okay.
But Judge Roberts, with the deciding opinion for the winning side in this deal, from the Supreme Court, said that in the case of property rights, if somebody takes your property, the government takes your property.
Fifth Amendment.
Yes, and that's such a high level that you can take it to the federal court regardless of what's going on in the state court. So we told them, say, hey, look, we're going to sue you guys in federal court too, and they said, all right, whatever, do it. So we did.
So the 8,000 plus for the property, right? And then the 30,000 for the lawyer fees.
Yeah. Plus, they also have to pay all the court costs that were associated with it. And that,
Was there a lot?
Probably $60,000-$70,000.
Damn.
Yeah, but it's still early in the whole thing.
Yeah.
I've never understood it. Why they didn't just pay for the damn land? I mean.
Well, like you mentioned earlier, it could have been grudge related or just a conflict of personalities.
Oh yeah, it's on now. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think there's much doubt about it. Like the crew that meets in the back room for the finance committee, they don't like it when I say that they're meeting in the back room.
Have you lost friends over all this?
No.
No.
No, we weren't traveling the same circle too much anyway. So.
Understood.
If we had been, I'd say we'd lost friends.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just interesting
I probably lost a few customers. I mean, a few of them might have used to eat in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I doubt if they do that.
Or from free appetizers or something.
Shit.
I
ain't offering them free.
Beer cheese. Have you ever watched My Cousin Vinny and sit there and go, man, I wish I had him? No,
I'm all right with the guys I got.
All right. Wow.
Yeah, no.
So halftime.
Yeah.
Halftime. Interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I get on here like every couple of months. You
Right.
get me on and we talk about it again. I almost feel like we could play a video or a replay of the one from 2 years ago.
Right. Interesting.
Because it just keeps grinding.
Wow. All right.
So we got to talk about something else.
Yeah, no, I like it in your monthly appearances, and we'll be getting into some local news in a bit too.
But the ethics thing is interesting.
Yeah.
So we noticed that the city attorney has these, they have non-public meetings, mostly with the finance committee. Shoot, they're always with the finance committee, but there's an Open Meetings Act that regulates how you're supposed to do that, and their own meeting minutes don't reflect that they do it the right way. So we filed a ethics complaint against him for that. Yeah, did you read about that?
Yeah, I saw that tonight.
That was pretty interesting.
That is interesting. What do you think's going to be? What do you think's going to come of that?
Man, I don't know. It's all blown up. So so we filed that ethics complaint for and we did an ethics complaint because trying to keep it kind of simple instead of having another lawsuit.
Why make it personal against you though? What do they have against you or the Blackhorse?
I don't know, man. But to a certain extent, it's gotten down to like trench warfare.
Yeah. Digging in. Everyone's digging in, right?
Yeah. So, and we had a mediation last week, and there was a federal judge that did that. And he came in. He said, "Hey, Mr. Robinson, I'm going to need you to lighten up a little bit." He's like, "You're kind of entrenched."
Who said that?
This judge that
really
came to do this mediation. Yeah.
See, you guys are going about it all the wrong way.
Oh gosh, here comes his opinion.
You need me to do the mediation.
Everybody close your ears.
You need me to do the mediation.
Oh, hey, I felt bad for this guy. He's an older retired federal judge. He's a very nice fella. He came and worked really hard all day long. He started off in the morning telling me, he's like, "You seem to be, rather entrenched in your positions, and I'm going to need you to lighten up and work with us a little bit." And he said, "Have you really said you'll fight with these guys, forever over this?" And I said, "Oh hell yeah."
See, I gotta get you and the city in the studio, okay? You guys sit over there. You guys sit over there. If it starts to get out of hand, I got sound effects. You know, I use the cunning use of sound effects to make people calm down. Let's see, what am I? Some of my favorite ones. Oh yeah. When someone's time is up for talking, right? It's too easy. It's too easy.
Whoop it on them. But anyway, the ethics thing has gone into an interesting twist now because, you know, we put the one ethics complaint on them over the meetings, and you know they immediately ran off and put it on the agenda to hire him a lawyer to defend him in the ethics thing, which the code of ethics says that if anybody gets a lawyer, they got to pay for it themselves, until the city council changed it last week. And then they all went to the next meeting of the finance committee, and they all voted to hire him a lawyer. And I was sitting there, we're looking at it, I'm going, damn, they just broke their own rules. I mean,
what's the one where a official of the city can't get sued? What was that one that recently happened? What was it?
I don't. They have a certain amount of protections, but this was interesting. So they had so we filed 2 more ethics complaints on them because they, sat there and blatantly, broke their own rules, and then so they called together the first meeting of the ethics commission, and they met and they hired another lawyer from Nashville to come up and help them with that. I don't know why they don't hire local lawyers, but they hired another Nashville lawyer. That guy came up and helped them with that.
Well, I could understand why they would hire outside of the city, right? I mean, if they don't want a conflict of interest, I would also go outside of the city.
I don't think it's about conflict of interest.
No?
No.
What do you think it's about?
I don't think it's about conflict of interest. Because
Okay.
let me tell you, lawyers, they're just, the judges may not need a conflict of some sort.
Okay.
But lawyers, they're just hired guns, man.
Well, you know what? And it would be nice to keep that money in here.
Yeah, because none of those Nashville lawyers spend a nickel in Clarksville unless they get some gasoline while they're here.
Yeah.
They're not spending any money here. They're taking our tax dollars and rolling down the road with it.
Well, maybe they like your what's it called? Your special pizza with the
Man, the guys
what's the cauliflower pizza?
Those guys that the city's paying, they're not eating in the pub, dude. But now the ethics commission, there's 5 of them on this commission. And I got word last week that 3 of them quit. So no, they don't have an ethics commission anymore.
So where's the ethics commission now?
You got me, man. But they don't. It seems to have blown up.
And is that appointed?
It's appointed.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be appointed by the mayor.
Can I get appointed to be on the ethics commission?
You should go down there and volunteer. Actually, I think they got a form online where you can volunteer to be a volunteer.
Okay, I'm in.
And you
I
should
have
go-
a question.
What's up,
Can
Casey
I ask
Bryan?
a couple questions?
Fire away.
All right, awesome. So what is their reasoning for not? Because you would think you guys are an amazing company and you bring so much to our city, and you're one of the businesses since I've been here that has really outlasted. A lot of them just open and close and open and close, and obviously you guys are doing something right and bringing money in and just provide a great service to our community. So what is their reasoning for not wanting to work with you?
You got me. Well, I understood it with Kim. I really did, because we flat out didn't like each other. We opposed each other politically. So at least it made it, it didn't make sense on the big scale. Like, this isn't really good for the taxpayer.
Did you vote for Joe Pitts?
Huh? Yeah, I voted for Joe.
Yeah.
I supported
You didn't have to answer that, but I appreciate your
Yeah.
answer.
We all make mistakes.
No, well,
It is what it is,
giving
man.
them softballs here.
No, dude, there's no help in that now.
Was it just like, they had a line and they didn't want to, they were like, this line is drawn and so we just got to go with it? Do you feel like?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're willing to go with it to the end. To no matter what it costs or how much time it takes, they're willing to just keep going.
It seems like an ego thing.
Yeah, and really, I think part of what I've
I
learned.
don't know about that. I got to invite Mayor Pitts in here and sit down with him and just have a conversation about it.
He does seem like a pretty level-headed person in general.
Right. Sound effects.
But it doesn't make sense, and that's when I
No,
explain.
it's something that doesn't make
That's why it
sense.
surprises me.
Yeah,
Right.
when I explain it to people, one of the first things I tell them is like, look, okay, you're going to have to suspend
Yeah.
your logic thing, because this is not logical.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, we paid like $226, I think it was, for the land, and then sold the city their portion for 50 something, 55, 56. To build an alley in there at one point in time was only like
It's not an alley.
Yeah,
It's not an alley.
right. But it's interesting. It would serve 7 different properties, and everybody's got not everybody, but several of us have back doors that open into this magic space, and so we need it for fire exits.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is what needs to happen, no matter what. It's the common sense thing to do, and in most cases, what happens with us is like, when all this was going on, we started looking for another place to put our brewery too, because we needed to expand anyway.
Right, because
So we ended up in Alcoa, in the city of Alcoa. We're like, hey,
when did you go to Alcoa?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, like right in the middle of all this.
Right.
mess. And city of Alcoa was hell yes.
Of course, right.
Come on down. And actually, the city of Alcoa just finished the process of conveying some more land to us for free to help us expand there even more. So and we get calls all the time from cities that want like a brewery or a brew pub. I mean, they're like an economic driver. People will stop off, not just ours, but any, like Strawberry Alley.
The ones who voted no on city council for the settlements, did they make any public statements? Did they say why no?
No,
No, they just voted no.
no, they just voted no.
And that was in a public hearing where you watch them in the.
Yeah, I mean, David Allen made it kind of, a pitch to try and get it over with.
Right.
And then they closed off the question and voted.
And just voted.
Yeah.
No statements, no nothing.
No. But it's the first time they voted. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I thought that was good. And really it was great because, like Pitts voted. I mean, I knew where he stood.
Yeah.
But now everybody knows he's in favor of just wasting money. So.
Now, what about the chance of you packing up your stuff and just moving out of Clarksville entirely?
No, we're not going anywhere.
Not happening.
No. And we still build a building.
Yeah.
I mean, that pub has been great. I mean, it's like a miracle. It just keeps going.
Well, I mean, it's okay sometimes.
You guys' steak is out of this world.
Well, thank you.
All right.
But I mean, literally, like you
I
said,
hate waiting.
It's
I get the little beeper thing, and it gets so busy.
Listen, we're going up. We're going up. High technology now, man. You get it on your phone now. You don't have to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't have to hold the little pager thing. They just do it on your phone.
No, stop telling people to go there.
Man, I can't help
I
you.
don't like the waiting all the time.
Yeah, but I think since 1992.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been there since '92. We have seen a lot of places come and go. Kind of sad, but true.
Yeah. No, like Casey Bryan of local Clarksville said, you guys are one of the great staples of the city, and I look forward to you and the city holding hands and skipping together soon.
Man,
Frolicking. I would love to see that.
It's got to happen eventually. I mean,
it'll get
I
worked
feel like
out
it
eventually.
has to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It'll get worked out eventually, one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I told that judge that for the mediation.
Yeah.
He said you're committed to the long-term fight, and I was like, yeah, man, kind of like you got to think like Taliban.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
Did he know he was talking to a veteran, right?
yeah, no, actually, he was a veteran of Vietnam.
Oh,
So,
he should know.
Exactly.
Yeah, he knows.
And I said, that's one of my kids was there at the table, and another one was on.
Why was he on the table? I mean, isn't that a little unprofessional?
He was there at.
Okay, my bad. I just pictured a kid.
I don't know, but kid. I mean, he's a big kid. Actually, two of our children have turned into lawyers.
Oh
so.
my God, unreal.
That's like, I'm going to retire someday. If this thing's still going, I'm just going to pass it on to them and tell
Yeah.
them, just keep on.
Just keep going.
Keep grinding.
Keep going.
Yeah, there shall be no stop.
See the headlining news: $3.2 billion settlement.
Right?
I don't know. It may never settle.
Man, unbelievable. But nonetheless, I appreciate you coming in here and having real talk about it.
Not a problem.
You
Not
know?
a problem.
I'll invite the others. The ones who voted no. Mayor Pitts. I would love to know more about what the hell's going on, because my job is to promote local businesses and the city at the same time. So here's an example of it. All right, coming up next. What time do we got? You know what? We're gonna skip the politics stuff.
Yay.
Well, this one was we'll just do it tomorrow. It was really like nonpartisan stuff. I tried to make it as
The Eskimo
What's that?
pie?
Well, yeah, we'll do that one because
Good,
coming
'cause
up,
I wanted to hear that.
What the VP's tomorrow night, right?
maybe. You know what they're doing? They're putting plexiglass up now.
Really?
Yeah, they're putting
Oh, no.
like you're going into MAPCO. Right? They're putting plexiglass up.
Hey, I'd want a little something between me and somebody that's been in the White House lately.
Yeah,
Myself.
I mean, they're testing them. They're testing them.
Well, I thought they always got tested before the debate anyway.
Well, the commission in Cleveland there, the debate commission kind of dropped the ball. You know, they were supposed to test everyone, and they didn't test everyone.
So everyone didn't show up on time.
No, they didn't. You're right.
You got to get there on time to be tested.
Right. And if I'm the commission, and you sign that paper,
Yeah, you didn't.
sorry,
show up.
you can't go on that debate stage.
But you know what I've learned is like because you know we deal with it. We've got about 100 employees here.
Yeah.
And so there's this constant progression of like I've been exposed and we're having to people are having to get like tested 3 times over 5 and 6 days to verify that they're not positive.
Right.
Because you can go get tested too soon.
And you guys have had a great returns. I mean, with your numbers and everything.
Yeah, we've been really lucky.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of amazing at how few people who have had contacts have been tested. I mean, have been positive. But you can't trust an early test. You know, you've got to push it on down the road a few days and get it again, basically.
Right. Understood.
So like somebody may be, negative at the moment, but it just hadn't incubated yet.
It's the Joe Padula Show. Bada bing. Clarksville's conversation.